Well, it says you're live. Am I live? I have no idea, folks. I really don't. Uh, but I'm here. You see the time? It says 11:30. So people say to me, "You're always on around 11. Why don't you put it up at 11:30? Because I guarantee you, I'll be up at. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Must have been something I ate. It'll be done. I'll be doing it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When I'm supposed to be out walking Lucy. Everything's gotten pushed for some reason or another. I wake up the same time. I just don't get going until I don't leave the house till way after 9. I get back sometimes 10, sometimes 10:30. Uh, Lunch is later. Everything's later. And I know I'm older and and I don't have the energy, but this is getting ridiculous. I actually have more energy when I wake up. I tend to get fatigued as I go on during the day. Afternoons are a little rough for me, and then the evenings kick in. And if you look at my history as a bartender, I used to work during the days and at night. And when you come in the morning, you're extremely busy getting ready for the day. You do lunch. After lunch, it's dead. You sit down, you have your lunch. It's done. And then it comes back again around happy hour, 5 o'clock. And that's just the way my life is. That's just the way my body reacts. I guess when you do something for 30 years that you kind of loved and you had a lot of fun doing it, it kind of sticks with you, the various, idiosyncrasies of the job. Well, I talked a little bit about paying attention to Trump, which is something you really, really have to do because he does little things and you don't see them, right? This isn't a little thing. He did a really big thing. He's going to put Steve Miller, I think his official title is Chief of Staff or Assistant Chief of Staff, something like that, in charge of Venezuela. He's going to go down to Venezuela, and that's South America's got a lot of fascists in it, and he'll fit right in because he's a fascist, and he has dictatorial plans for the United States, so it should fit in right with the dictatorial Maduro regime that's still there, that wasn't removed, that's still there, and he's still not talking to the Trump's still not talking to the young woman there that won the Nobel Prize. I don't have her name in front of me, so I'm just going to talk about her, not name her. You'll have to try to figure out what I'm doing. Anyhow, it's a big deal is that, this oil thing, I want the oil. Oh, wait a minute. I got somebody just showed up here. Hello. I have to answer this. I'm sorry. Just sit still and relax, people. This only happens once in a lifetime. This is rude, isn't it? But that's how I am. I'm just rude. I should take the caps off, but that's me. Anyhow, I can't type with a damn, so it takes forever for me to do these things this way. That's why I don't get involved in text conversations with people. I can't type, especially with my thumbs. They go in different directions. Uh, but talking about Miller is one of the architects of 2025. That's an 800 some odd page document that I suggest everybody try and find and read right now. So you have a vague understanding of what's going to happen to this country. And there's not a damn thing we can do about it. I don't think at this stage of the game. Everybody's content to say, once we get rid of Trump, it'll all be no. Next in line, J.D. Vance was probably hated even more than Trump is by everybody, including the people that'll vote for him. All right, he's got loads of what? Oh, oil that is. Yeah, all right. P Diddy has loads of oil. Well, here now. See, I talked about Lucy, and here she is. She came back. She's she's my dog. There's no doubt about it. She stays with me most of the time. She's getting it, and as soon as she's sure there's not going to be any more fireworks for a while, she's going to go back to being her. I'm going to run around self, and I hope so because she's still young. She's got a long way to go before I have to worry about changing her food or anything like that to senior diet. But anyhow, Miller is he actually looks a little bit like Mussolini. I think a thinner version of Mussolini. Maybe Mussolini when he was young. I'm I don't know what to say. I just don't know how to understand people. Um, Americans are just. I guess this is what happened when Hitler took over and when Stalin made his move. And well, Stalin made his move after the revolution, so he was, he just decided he didn't want communism the way it was written. Because even JFK once said that communism in its truest form might be a better form of government than democracy. I'm not sure socialism isn't a better form than democracy. The problem with that is it's a better form of democracy. It's a better form of government for the average individual. And people, the rich people don't like to be governed by the average individual. I mean, that's what they said the Constitution was all about. And people have been trying to tear that. People have been trying to tear that document apart for years, and they're succeeding at it because it's not beneficial to the rich and infamous. You know what I mean? All right, so we got Stephen Miller out there now. That should be really great because they didn't change. There was no regime change in Colombia, and there's no election scheduled. And one of the analysts that I watched yesterday said that if this young lady was to come into the country and they had elections tomorrow morning, she'd win by some sort of major landslide. I don't know if that's true or not, you know. But Trump has to contend with if he go. He's not too. The end. This is the analyst that I said. The analyst that I said in the other video that he wasn't interested in. Trump wasn't really interested in coming into Colombia because there's actually three different armies in Colombia under different control. You have the regular military, which is also the police force. The National Police Force is part of the military, so you've got them. And the National Police Force is basically ineffective because of the way the laws are set up. And then you have the Transit Authority, which is just good at taking bribes. And there's tons of videos out there showing these guys taking bribes, and nothing happens to them. It's just a way of, supplementing their income, apparently. It's like a part-time job. But you have, that's the main army is under control of government and everything like that. Next up, you have the ELP, which is the rebel force that didn't surrender when the FARC did. The main rebel force surrendered and gave in and everything. They never got around to negotiating with these guys. And these guys, go out and kidnap a couple people every once in a while. They're not, they're basically, it's like I said back then when they went, when they first started making the peace agreements, I said, you can't expect these guys to turn their guns. They've been living a lifestyle where if they want something, they just go out and take it. And now they have to go out and work for a living. It's like asking a kid that in Newark to go take a job at Burger King, which at the time I originally said this was like $8 an hour, and you got a kid selling dope on a corner that makes college tuition in a day. You know what I mean? That's just it's hard. It's hard to get these people to do this stuff. It really is to transform from taking what they wanted to having to work for pennies to pay for it. Um, so that's the three army issue that we have down here. The third one, if I didn't go into detail on that, is remnants of the FARC that worked for the control of the country up near Ecuador, and they big into drugs. They're the cartel muscle up there, so they're not even rebels. Rebels. They're just an army. That's they're their own private little world up there. They don't even. I don't think they are could be considered a rebel force anyhow. And that's it. That's that. So that's why he's not coming down here. But one of the things that he's going through his head, and I think we're beginning to see this with his mouth and everything. Um, he's he believes that he's totally above the law, and at the moment he might be. All right, and like people say, well, we got to get him out of there. We got to get him out of there. I don't want him just out of there. I want to see him being dragged out in handcuffs and literally dragged, a broken man. That's what I want to see. And he'll be a broken man before the end of his term because his brain's about to explode on him. He's still shitting himself and he still smells bad to be around. I think they stuff. What do you car deodorant? What do you call pine trees and shit in his pants now just to keep the odor down. I mean, this is a disgusting individual. Uh, that's why his wife doesn't sleep with him because she can't stand to be around him. There's a lot of relationships, including mine, that where the romance is pretty much gone. But in his case, it's ridiculous. They're just it's strictly a business arrangement. If I was making a business arrangement, I'd be getting paid more. Anyhow, coming up on the end of the video, uh, I thank my visitor today. I think his first name is Jim. I'm not sure. I can't tell from here. But anyhow, I'm happy he's here. He's from, I think he's in England. I'm not going to be 100%. I'm not going to just jump up and down and say that. I have very few visitors to my videos and whatnot that are from the United States, which is quite surprising to me. But since that's the audience I'm going at, and those are the things that I discuss. Although right now it's our problems in the United States are a world problem. So, anyhow, I haven't forgotten about replacing the logo. I'm still thinking about that, but I'm not changing the title. Sorry, guys. Allows me a little flexibility in what I talk about. Um, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I think I'm not sure what time. I'm going to try to be normal, but I'm not sure because tomorrow's the day my wife leaves for vacation. So, well, she gets wheeled down to the car and they go to the farm. You know, she and my sister-in-law is going to take care of her out there, and that the two sisters. The one that's gone with her that's been here for about a week now is worth her weight in gold. I can't believe she's such a sweet. She's such a sweet individual. It's just amazing. She's had a rough life, but what I can do, what did he say now? More than fair assessment on that guy. Seriously, we know he knows he's out of his depth and on a timer. Well, it's well, he's always been out of his depth. He's always had scapegoats around him. I don't think he's got too many scapegoats left right now. You see, there was an article Mother Jones put out today. I don't know whether you know who Mother. It's a newsletter type deal. They're claiming there that he's at war with the Kennedys. You know the things that he's done. I said, man, you employed the worst Kennedy in the whole family, and you're at war with the Kennedys. I don't know. Things are very strange. People do some strange shit in the world, and it doesn't make any sense. And the problem I think individuals have is that they don't understand that what they do. It's like what is it they used to describe it? If a butterfly flaps its wings in Africa, a hurricane hits the United States. It's similar. Whatever you do affects everybody else. I talk to young people and I try to explain to them. I don't really want to sit there and tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Uh, but let me explain life to you. Whatever you do today is going to affect you when you're fit, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, as you get older. And you're not going to realize it. Look at me. I'm a prime example of the physical aspects of it. I was an alcoholic. I smashed a lot of cars. I bruised a lot of bones. I banged my body around. I'm like a pro football player. Pro football players most of them don't walk good at 80. Uh, there was one example of that when the Raiders, John Otto was his last name. It's Raiders center. It was 00. He was considered the best center ever at the time, and he played for the at the time Oakland Raiders. They were called. That's where they were playing. This is when they were the bad boys of football. And afterwards, he started. He always sat next to Davis, the owner, when he was alive, and they sat in the same box and watched the game together. And eventually, this guy, he couldn't walk. He ended up having both knees replaced, and he still couldn't walk right from playing football. That happens to people when you get physical. I'm surprised my mind is still functioning with all the alcohol that's been poured down my throat. Voluntarily, folks. I did it voluntarily. Got nobody to blame but myself. But anyhow, that's a story for another year or so, hopefully. Uh, so that's going to be it for today. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try and work on this timing thing and get it done. We'll see what happens as we go along. So, everybody have a great day. My friend, I hope your name is Jim. Have a great day, everybody, and I will talk to you mañana. I hope.